What's going on, fight fans? This is Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Rob Jarrell, and this is the preview to tomorrow's DAZN matchup featuring Jessie Vargas taking on Mikey Garcia in a welterweight tilt. And on the undercard, we have Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez taking on Yafai for the super flyweight WBA title that currently belongs to Yafai, but of course, I believe he's either the regular champion or the super champion. One of the two. It's the WBA. They have 15 champions per weight class, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get to the action. So, starting with the undercard, we have a comeback, however you will say it. But we have Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez making his way, trying to get back into that championship picture, trying to get that title at the super flyweight division after his losses to Siriuscat Sorungvisai. He took one loss as a split decision, the other one in a 4-round knockout. And from what I didn't know, he had a lot go on from the Carmona fight, I believe. You can fact check me on that. But the fight before those and during that and up until now, he had a lot going on. And I am going to get my trusty computer. As you can see, I am typing. But he had quite a bit going on in during his title run or toward the end of his title run, where he was moving into super flyweight, moving up a class, trying to match Alexis Arguello, moving up through the rankings. I think he's a 4-division champ, or trying to be a 4-division champ. Yeah, he's trying to be a 4-division champ, trying to get that belt at the 115-pound division. And Carlos Cuadras, he had that fight. Then his longtime trainer, I can't remember his name because, of course, I told you I have a terrible memory. Arnoldo Obando, who used to train him up until the Cuadras fight. Then his trainer passed away. He actually went through a really bad divorce. He had 3 trainers since Obando died, and he looks like he settled on the father of Randy Caballero to train him. He trained him for his last fight, and he actually had knee surgery which required him to be out about 15 months. So he's really not only looking to prove that after he's had 50 fights, 48 wins, 2 losses, only to Sorungvisai. He's had some wars between Sorungvisai and Cuadras. Then he had a really good fight versus Brian Valoria and Juan Francisco Estrada early in his career. He might be a little shot more even at 32, because those lower weight classes do burn out quite a bit faster than, especially for a guy like Chocolatito, who's high work rate, high energy, and really likes to take it to whoever he's fighting. So he's looking to show that at 32, he still has a lot left in the tank. He wants to get to that 50-win mark, but he just doesn't want to get to it against lower tier competition. He still wants to take on the best of the best. And he'll do that against the undefeated Khalid Yafai, who's out of Great Britain, and has shown a lot of promise up until now. But while Chocolatito, he's trying to prove that he's still the man, still trying to come back, still trying to be that all-time great in the lower weight classes. He's moving up against he's getting ready to fight a guy who's younger, hasn't been in as many wars, and is naturally bigger than he is. I think they say he's at 5'3", but it looks like he has about a 2-inch height advantage over Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. And just going into this fight, the fight that he had against Moises Fuentes, he looked like he was laboring. He looked like he was worn. And again, that could have come from the wars that he's had. That could have come from the age. That also could have come from the fact that he might have had those knee issues and still trying to get a little bit of, get in sync with his trainers or new trainers. Like I said, he had 3 trainers after the death of Obando. So against Fuentes, he was able to get the knockout, but he looked a little eh. And then he took on another guy. I watched the fight. I can't remember his name. I think the guy was out of the Philippines. And he looked a lot fresher. He looked like that knee was fully healed. He was on his toes, moving forward. Still not as crisp as when he was younger. But again, you're talking about 3 to 4 years ago. Remember, he fought Quadras back in 2016. He fought Sarungvasai twice in 2017. So 3 years can make the difference, especially when you've had inactivity and an injury. So he's got to prove that he can still bring that same fight that he did and overwhelm his opponents. Yafai, on the other hand, in his fight against Israel Gonzalez, I noticed that when there's a guy with a higher work rate who's not afraid to fight, sure, he can hurt him, but a lot of times he was made to keep his hands at home in a tight guard, bending over, and kind of walking forward to his opponent. He can't do that versus Chocolatito. In this fight, he has to do what Sarungvasai did, be tough and land some very hard shots and keep Chocolatito off of him and push him back. Because Chocolatito, he's on his toes. He's coming forward. He has very subtle skills. He can parry punches. And sure, he'll take a jab or two. He'll even take something upstairs. I would say look out for the counter right hand from Yafai. But Yafai can't throw 1 or 2 punches at a time. He's got to flow. He's got to let his hands go. He's got to not 1 punch at a time. He's got to throw 2 or 3 jabs, come in, step in his wheelhouse, and kind of cut angles, step from side to side, because Chocolatito provides a lot of pressure. He's on his toes, and he can really catch someone with the lunging right. And while he can jab, he's going to use that left hand, but the jab is not a real snapping jab. I mean, he can jab, but what he really wants is the left hook. He wants the jab, step, or jab lean, boom, to the body or upstairs, or throw the hook off the jab and finish with the right hand. And once he finishes with that right hand, he's going to lunge and put a lot into it. So if Yafai is made to like really trade, or if he keeps consistently getting moved back and not moving back out of range on his own accord, then he's going to be overwhelmed, especially when Chocolatito gets going, because he can reel off 3 and 4 hard power shots. And if one of them lands, it's a wrap. And look for him to shoot that right down the middle and come with the hard hook. I think he might be able to double it up, but I think he wants to go with a 2-fisted attack and vary up those shots. Yafai, he's got to make his shots count. Do not let Chocolatito get off and get any kind of momentum. What he has to do is kind of step out of range and fire his own counter right. Also, again, got to let those hands go. Because you're the bigger man, you got to make those shots count, and you got to push Chocolatito back. Because from what I could tell, he cannot fight going backwards. He wants to stay on his toes. He wants to stay in an offensive position and not necessarily move his head, but he wants to bat down, try to keep you from hitting him, because he does have very good reflexes and skill, and he's underrated defensively if you ask me. He was just going up against a guy in Sarungvasai who was pretty much the toughest of the tough. And because he's not a pure boxer like, say, a Juan Francisco Estrada, who was able to outbox Sarungvasai, he lost. And this is one of those things where Kyle Yafai has to make everything count, push him back, show him that he's not there to be bullied by a guy smaller than him coming up from the lower divisions. Because he's fresher, I think Yafai will make a good stance. I mean, I'm maybe overthinking this because I think Chocolatito still has a lot left in the tank. I think he's getting back into that flow with the new trainer. They seem to be developing a lot of trust, and we want to see if he still has those legs. And he's motivated, very motivated. His mentor Arguello holds the lower weight divisions. He said he would match that. He wants to get to that 50 win mark, and he wants to be a Hall of Famer when his time is up, especially at 32. I think he might have 2, maybe 3 good years left in him before he's got to wrap it up. So look for Chocolatito to get a late knockout. I would be surprised if he knocks him out early. I think Yafai is going to be able to find Chocolatito with that right hand, but there's no guarantee that he can outwork Chocolatito with those power shots. So we're going to move on to the main event. We got Mikey Garcia, 1 loss, 4 division champ, going at welterweight, trying to prove that he belongs in a 147-pound division versus the always tough, always game Jessie Vargas, who unfortunately he hasn't had the most success in his biggest fights, but he is a very tough, very rugged veteran. I mean, he drew with Adrian Broner and Thomas Delorme, and he was losing every round of the Tim Bradley fight until he almost got him out there in the last round and the last minute. And then, of course, he fought Manny Pacquiao, which it's Manny Pacquiao. So what do you expect him to do? But this is a winnable fight for each guy. With Mikey Garcia, the good thing about him, he has amazing balance. His body is always in position to punch. He always seems like he's not off balance, looking to throw that punch, but we just don't know if 147 is his weight division. Taking on Errol Spence, he got the big money fight, but he was just too small. He wasn't athletic enough, and a guy who can match or outmatch him skill-wise at the Southpaw division gave him his first loss. Going up against a guy in Jessie Vargas who's not necessarily a power puncher. While he can get the occasional knockout, he has literally had to outwork guys. You see in the Saddam Ali fight, he was able to get him out of there. But in the Delorme fight, a guy who can be knocked out, they went tooth and nail. And I think there was a knockdown by Delorme on Jessie Vargas. Then against Adrian Broner, that was some back and forth action where he made a good account of himself. But the speed of Adrian Broner and the ability to hit him with the counter right made all of the difference. Jessie Vargas cannot just throw one punch at a time against Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is very good at stepping out of range and creeping up into your space. I think this is going to look a lot like the Robert Easter fight where Jessie Vargas is going to throw that jab. He's going to throw that jab to the body, which is very good, but one jab to the body is not going to do anything. And when he jabs to the body and once he punches downstairs, he comes over his feet. And he likes to lean, or when he comes forward, he likes to lean to try to get that right, or that lead right, and a left hook to the body. While I do appreciate the body work, I think he's there to be uppercut for the right uppercut. And I think Mikey Garcia will see that, land the right uppercut, come back upstairs with the left, and possibly finish with the right. But he should be able to knock him down. I don't think Garcia has the power to get Vargas out of there, especially since Manny Pacquiao, Adrian Broner, a lot of guys who are good punchers were not able to do so. But I think that Mikey Garcia will outbox him and will start to punish him over 12 rounds. While I think he fights very good from the outside, I don't think he's going to be able to maintain that distance and keep Mikey Garcia at the end of his jab. And considering that he leans over a lot and he kind of overextends his punches, Mikey Garcia is going to be able to counterpunch him and step into a range that he's comfortable inside of those long arms of Jessie Vargas. Jessie Vargas, again, like the Chocolatito fight, impose your size. You are a natural 140 to 147 pounder, and this guy's coming up from featherweight. Even though he's 4-division champ, he's moving way up into your natural class. And he does a good job. Try to rough him up a little bit, position him, and throw uppercuts on the inside. And maybe throw that punch from an angle that he can't, a wide looping punch from an angle that you can't see, because if you don't, that left hook is going to be there for Mikey Garcia. That's all I got for you today. I wish I had more pretty decent undercard fights. We have Joseph Parker take on Shondell Winters, and there's another title fight. I want to say at 112. But I can't remember. I apologize for that. But tell us what you think. Who's going to take the win? Vargas, Garcia, Chocolatito, or Yafai? Comment down below. Hit us up on social media, capitalcombat@gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Be respectful to us. Be respectful to yourselves. Like this video. Like our other videos. Subscribe to the channel. Smash that bell icon so you can get the latest and greatest from myself and Hakeem going forward. And until next time.
Russia, this is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming.